kind of get over it. So, um,
Well, I'm glad everyone's vertical. I just want you to know that I am so sad that I missed last week. I, I was in the line at Golden Demon. I was like looking over all the entries, and Sharif is just like giving me the play-by-play, and I'm in line like making noises and hopping around. Like I couldn't wait for the next update. So super exciting. Sounds like you guys had a lot of fun.
yeah, Slim finally got to open the bag, and I felt like I felt like I did it in a very slim way. So I don't think it broke character that much. Of
Awesome.
course, I didn't quite have one of your ridiculous idioms to use, but yeah, it was good.
Well, thank
Um,
you for doing him justice. I appreciate that.
oh, no problem. We'll have to see what we can get accomplished today, because I do have a hard stop at noon my time, which is just 2 hours. So
Okay.
sorry about that, guys. But I I've got a lot going on at the moment. I shoot, I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something. I don't know what it was. All right. Well, moving on. So I had shot out some emails to you guys about a few different things. So we really, I guess, need to first things first. We really need to kind of close up the mission in Vienna, as it were. Um, so some narrative exposition, if you will. By the way, how do you guys like the new background?
Oh, I love this even more.
As much as I love Cthulhu towering over the Reichstag and an old defunct Tiger II, I found this one of a British Cromwell running over a Shoggoth, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like that. We're going to do that for a little while.
That's amazing.
So um, there's a whole bunch more art for this game that I'll throw in every few weeks. That some of them get a little dark, but hey, that's what we're playing. Um, so you guys, after turning over the statuette and the notebook to Ernst Pretsche, and he disappears off into the fog, you guys head back to the hotel, to the safe house. Um, when you arrive, there's actually a message for you at the front desk, and it's it's a telegram
It
from.
says no matter what you do, don't give anything to Precious.
Hey guys, sorry I was managing a little meltdown here.
Oh, it's no problem. Didn't realize you weren't there. Uh, it's a oh, but there's a message waiting for you, and
Oh,
it is a telegram from it is a telegram from Strang, who's your boss over at Section D, who sent you here, and it says that you guys need to go to Rome immediately. Uh, Beyond the fact that Vienna is starting to get very hot because the declaration of war is expected any day, there's something going on in Rome. A couple of agents are well. There was anyway. He says that there was a strange note that got passed back to Section D, and I'm gonna see if I can drop it into the game here, if it'll let me. Come on now. That would be too easy. I'm sorry. It's the note says Pasquino has lost his voice. His dearest Lucrezia is concerned for his health. There are too many sausages in the pantry. Please come home and help your sister. She cannot run the family restaurant alone.
So, who's got the note?
Who does have the note?
Well, all right. So maybe Slim's got this note. He takes the note from the guy.
Hold on. I don't understand.
Oh. Uh-huh.
I'm confused. We got a cable. I mean, we got a telegram, right?
Right.
Oh, it was telegram. Okay.
Yeah, it was a telegram,
Yeah.
and he and String said that this note was passed on to Section D from Rome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The in fact,
It's a Section D.
right.
Okay.
Section D is British intelligence
From where? From where did you say?
I understand.
from Rome.
Rome, the city of Rome.
Yeah, agents in Rome sent this note in.
Okay.
In fact, if someone likes, they can make a reason tactics roll with covert operations as a focus.
Yeah, not me.
Well, I mean, well, it's a telegram, so it's not an item that I can do anything on. Are we still in the last scene, or is this? I caught you guys a little bit late from the
No, you
beginning,
guys
so
are
I'm not
back
sure.
you're back at the hotel.
So is this? Um, did we pick our talents and all that stuff already?
No,
or is that
we
later?
haven't
No,
quite
not
gotten
yet.
there yet.
We're finishing
Oh,
up.
okay. Oh, we're finishing up. Okay.
All right. So Slim looks pretty cut up. So is this down in the lobby or is this in the room?
This is down in the lobby. This is where
All right.
he's handed you the message.
So I think one of the other agents has the message at this point, and he's like trying to, like, for a second he's like trying to peek over their shoulders and whatever, and then loses interest as he like twists the wrong way and winces, and then he shambles over to the bar, and you see him in the periphery, order something from the hotel bar, and come back swirling ice in a drink, and you hear him like grunting and limping a little bit behind everyone, and then he puts on a good face when anybody looks. What is it? What are we going to do? Is this our requisition? Do we get more gear?
Well, I think we can get more gear if we go to Rome.
The telegram further says that there's a red line that goes straight from Vienna to Rome, and it gives you the details on that and says that your tickets have already been purchased. Before you leave, telegram back with any additional requisitions that you need, and it will be brought to you en route. But meanwhile, I just need someone to make a reason tactics roll with covert ops as a focus. If anyone is good for that.
I don't know about good for it, but all right.
I have 0 tactics, so
Reason
Won't be well,
tactics. What'd you say? Difficulty 1?
Difficulty 1, covert operations.
Who's got the best? Oh, there you go.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't have anything better. I just have a 1 and no focus in it.
So I think so. He's failed his covert operations role.
Yeah.
He like
Complication.
I think Slim is like he's got like his drink in his hand and he like snatches the message and like out loud he's like Italy. Like he like says it like too loud. I do like that
Yes.
Italian food.
Head sausages.
I love that he's celebrating too hard.
Yeah.
Like the mission's over. Like we're not spies.
Hey, Hachi, could you read the note quickly one more time?
Sure. Pasquino has lost his voice. My dearest Lucrezia is concerned for his health. There are too many sausages in the pantry. Please come home and help your sister. She cannot run the family restaurant alone.
These are not code words that like we can't create a truth to understand these code words. It's not something we've been briefed on before.
Well, actually, yeah, you could. That's what the roll was for. And,
Oh,
I wasn't
No.
paying attention during the briefing.
Yeah.
Do we have momentum left over?
no.
um, you actually, yes, you had two.
Well, there we
Let's
go.
create a truth that we remember our code books.
Um, so, correct me if I'm wrong. Slim is obviously U.S. military.
Right.
Baker is also U.S. military on some level. And then Pilecki, you're on loan from Majestic in the U.S., correct?
That is correct.
So Singh is the only one who's really British military,
Right.
or somehow associated with British military.
Pip
So
pip cheerio.
yeah, yeah, well, you're part of the empire. So
Long live the king.
we'll spend we'll spend that to momentum. The truth would be for you, Singh. In that case, you know that obviously Section D, British military intelligence, has operations in Italy, as you assume. So does everybody else. But you happen to know that Pasquino, or it might be pronounced Pasquino. It's spelled Pasquino. I'm not sure of the Italian pronunciation of that, but you happen to know that Pasquino and Lucrezia are both code names of agents in Italy, and they run or their front is a stationery slash artist supply shop in Rome.
What kind of supply?
Stationery slash artist supply.
Oh, cool. Okay. What's the reference to sausages?
Um, Germans.
Yeah.
Okay. And the kitchen, he needs help with the restaurant or whatever. That just means their operation.
Yep, more than
Yep.
likely. Yeah.
Well, I will relay this to the boys. Too many
Yeah, but
sausages. Bring mustard.
Well, I'll spread that mustard.
Um, the guy at the desk, he would probably have um, train schedules available, wouldn't he?
I would think
Most
so.
guys
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Um, I asked him for a schedule for international trains leaving Vienna.
Yeah. The line in question, it's on the southern edges of Vienna, and it leaves at 9:15 in the morning. At least that's when it's scheduled to leave.
Okay, so we can be all bright and chipper tomorrow morning and leave, right? Because we're after that time now. No, wait a minute. I'm trying to
You're
figure
in the
out.
middle of the night.
We're in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
so we're gonna no rest for the weary. I guess we sleep on the train. We need to get our crap in one sock.
Yeah.
You
So
hear sort of a petulant sound from Slim. He shuffles off to the room.
All right. Well, I guess we gotta get our gear together and figure out. Um, we should probably send off a report uh, of what happened, and we got to figure out what we need to send as a requisition before we get on that train.
correct.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a couple things that we have to deal with. Now, almost everybody took some amount of damage, but I believe there was only one actual injury, and that was Singh, was it not? Didn't Singh have an actual a bleeding knife wound?
He's still bleeding.
So,
Does this look infected to you?
It's only been an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does this look like it might get infected to you?
I
uh,
do
Let me
have a
spit on
medicine
it. We'll see.
contact. I have a medicine contact in my equipment of note.
Unfortunately, it's a veterinarian.
Yeah. Just take what you could get.
now,
Um,
the from the standpoint of recovery from an injury, and it's just really awful. I don't. Maybe I've got too much going on in my head because I double checked the rules on this yesterday, on how recovering from an injury works, and it has completely gone out of my brain. So now I've got to pull it again. So I'm sorry about that. Um, and of course now I can't find it because that's just the way it works. It's under. Oh, you know what? It's here we go. Yours is a physical injury, which requires it. It is a medicine roll. I'm just trying to remember where. God, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm having such issues with this all of a sudden. There we go. So you all right. So you've got an option. All right. Sing. You can make a you can make a brawn plus resilience test. The standpoint of healing, we're not a physical injury. I'm sorry. Physical injuries are we. I'm getting ahead of myself. Physical injuries are treated with coordination plus medicine. Okay. It's difficulty two. So the question would be, who among you guys has the best coordination plus medicine? And again, the game allows for help. Now, from the standpoint of helping, if you're having someone treat you, sing, the only person who can help the role would be you. So I guess the question is, who has the best coordination plus medicine among you?
So I have a 10 coordination, 0 medicine, but I'm willing to role play that out.
I have an 8 coordination and a 2 medicine, so I'm at 10 as well.
All right.
Yeah, I've got 8 and 2, but I have a focus in first aid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at you.
It's you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So so if you guys are planning to roll for it, the best way to handle it probably would be to have Pilecki make the 2 die roll, and then Sing roll 1 die to help. Now I don't know if either of you have any fortune points left. It is the
I do.
Yeah, it is the end of the adventure, so you can turn your die in. You could just use a fortune point to turn your die into a 1,
Why
which
not?
gets you the 2 successes right there.
Boom.
Does that transfer to me if I'm doing the roll?
Well, it just turns his die into a 1, which gives you guys 2 successes. I mean, you
Oh,
can,
that's right. That's
yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah.
and you can still roll on top of that, but honestly, mechanically, there's not much point because we're at the end of the adventure. So threat's really not going to do me any good. If you get a complication, there's really just
Mm-hmm.
not much reason to do it at that point. So we can handle it that way. Sing can burn. Well, hold on. Let me. We can handle it that way. But before we do, there's one more part to this, Mr. Singh. When an injury is removed, you have to make a skill test to see if there is a scar. A scar is a new personal truth, okay, that can have an effect on the game. Um, Here's what's really interesting about scars. In your case, it's going to be a physical scar because if you fail this roll, because you guys are treating it with conventional first aid. If you were to treat it with magical healing and you fail the scar roll, it becomes a mental scar. But anyway, so the question for you, Con, is what's your brawn plus resilience?
Well, my brawn is 8. My resilience is 2, so 10.
So, if you guys successfully treat the wound, the injury, you then have to make a skill test with brawn plus resilience to avoid having a scar. It's difficulty
Yeah.
1, which means with 2 dice, mathematically, you should make it happen. The
Well, I have
question
1 fortune point left. Can I use that at all, or
you have one total, or did you have
I
two?
have 2. I have 2, so
Oh,
using 1 to help with the medicine, and
and
then
then
I'm
so
left with 1 that's just going to expire in a minute.
that's true. So you could burn them both and just recover from this and be okay, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, since you're going to
Seems
get
a
them right
seems a
back.
tough old bird.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to assume you guys do all that in the room, obviously, rather than right there in the hotel lobby. Even though it
Definitely.
it is a British intelligence safe house, I still think flying that under the radar makes more sense.
Well, you'll make the custodian mad if you get blood on the tile that he has to clean up.
That's probably true. That's probably very true. Um, all right, so that's fine. We will handle it that way. But mechanically speaking, that's how it
All
will
right,
happen in
so
the future.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay, and then Slim didn't have an injury, right?
No, I think
No,
everybody else just had stress damage.
he's got a
Yeah.
bunch of stress. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Now I have a question about how the game works. Slim earlier in the adventure, his weapon um broke, right?
Correct.
Right.
Does that mean it's gone for good?
That's a good question.
He has to requisition a new one?
Because I did try to repair it and I was unable to.
Yeah, you
Right.
did try to repair it, and you were unable to. So yeah, you're in a position where you'd have to requisition one.
All right. Well, Slim, I'd like to have my service revolver back, so you need to requisition a new weapon, young man.
Yes, sir, Mr. Baker. She's a fine piece and she did mighty well. I was going to clean her up for you a little bit. It's got a little bit of blood on there. I hope you don't mind. And he he hands it back to him. Hey, listen, you're a deadly man with that there knife. I saw you dipping and dodging. That was pretty impressive.
Dipping and dodging.
I've had a little practice with it.
Shit, well, someday
Practice
on a
makes
train.
perfect, so they say.
So they say, sir. Well, someday maybe when we're on a train ride or something, you could teach me a move or something. And I says, well. Anyway, I appreciate it. Appreciate you loaning your little beauty there. And he shuffles off to watch Pilecki work on Sing. I assume in the bathtub or something.
Um, so yeah,
All right.
you guys have to decide how to spend 4 requisition points, I believe. Now, you will automatically be refilled on any ammunition you used and anything that was part of your character at creation. So, like Henry's burglary tools, any ammunition you guys used that was part of your creation, you'll get that back. So Slim will get a clip back for his machine gun, for example. So he'll be back to 1 ammo. But you
Awesome.
have 4 requisition points. You guys have to decide how to spend. This is a group pool. Uh, and I just looked it up. Like, if you want to get Slim a new 1911, that costs 1 point. It's not overly expensive. I think I noted at one point, or we noted at one point, that Singh has his service revolver, but he has no additional ammunition for it. He just has the one that the gun comes with. Wasn't that correct?
Yeah, that was an oversight. I didn't realize that.
No, it's okay. So if you wanted to buy an ammo belt for Singh, that would give him 3 ammo and would cost 1 more point. So then you're down to 2. So you guys just have to decide how you want to do that. We just lost Thermo.
Well, I do think a gun is in order for me, if that's okay. Uh,
Well,
by the way, I also had a revolver ammo from.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
he's not here. Okay.
No, we
Anyway,
just lost him.
yeah. So I mean, I would appreciate replacing that 1911 if possible.
Sure. I
I
think that's a
wouldn't.
good idea.
I wouldn't object to some grenades, but we'll see how much we have left over in the budget.
I think we need grenades.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. The problem with grenades, just like the problem with the bazooka, is that it's what we call a munition weapon, which means that when you look in the book and see where was the grenade, it's not under. Where is the grenade? Is it under ordnance? Is it under heavy weapons and ordnance? No, it's not there. Oh, it's under grenades and bombs. Go figure. So when you look at the grenade, which is the standard pineapple grenade, it's restriction rating 2, and it's a munition. So it's going to cost you 2 points to get one grenade, a
Gotcha.
single grenade.
Ugh.
Well, this is more of a, this is just Slim making his shopping list. I don't expect it to be followed through on, but I think he's annoying everyone with that kind of stuff.
Do they have landmines available?
I'm sure they
That's
do.
that is a serious question, but um, I don't think we would have enough points to buy it this time, but it would be.
I think that's Slim's tattoo. It says front towards enemy.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. A nice pre-Vietnam claymore would be awesome if somebody's chasing us.
Yeah, I'll have to investigate that. I'm sure that's going to be a cost 2 or 3 item.
Yeah, yeah. As for me, I unless I need ammunition, I think I'm okay. Remember. I don't remember even firing my weapon. Hey, did I?
You did once, yeah,
Did
and
once.
missed
So yeah,
at
you
point
know,
blank range.
yeah, yep. That's me. All right.
Oh no, you fired twice. You fired twice. You hit one shot that was at
Uh-huh.
regular close range. Then the point blank range when the guy was right in your face, you missed it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, here's an
So
idea. Would some like melee weapons for stealth be like, for instance, Slim doesn't have a knife. Just a thought.
You there, Henry?
I,
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Having internet problems.
Sorry about that. Oh, while you were gone, I think the two things that we kind of agreed on was replacing Slim's pistol, which costs 1, and
Right.
getting an ammo belt for Khan, which costs 1 for his pistol for his revolver,
Okay.
which leaves you guys with 2 points.
But Slim doesn't have an ammo belt, right?
I do not.
You don't have an ammo belt for your 1911?
I don't.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I spent it elsewhere.
Oh yeah. Elsewhere.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to having ammo, but I want to be respectful of the budget we had.
But it was a good thing you did.
To give you some context here, Slim just requested grenades above an ammo belt for his 1911.
Yeah, I mean, from the standpoint of weaponry, I mean, there's no question that Slim is your overall best conventional combatant. So, you know, arming him is probably. I mean, he was pretty effective. Of course, when you take out half the enemies with a single machine gun blast, that's pretty impressive. But anyway, so yeah, 2 points, gentlemen. Just whatever you guys want to do.
so
Well,
ammunition is free, or you have
No,
to buy that?
ammunition it's 1 point to get an ammo belt, which an ammo belt is 3 ammunition for a particular weapon.
I'll tell you what. Can I be a glutton here and take the 1911 and an ammo belt for the 1911?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so that leaves you with 1 point.
Okay, 1 point. How would
And everybody else has ammo.
Singh, did you put an ammo belt on your character sheet for your revolver?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
All right, because I have a 1911. I don't know if I spent all my ammo or not. I don't know how that's tracked.
It you well, and keeping in mind if it's what you if it's what your character started with, so your 1911 obviously it comes with one ammo, and whatever you
Hmm.
start with, it refills basically. So if you
Oh,
don't
I see.
have an additional ammo belt on
Hmm.
your character sheet, then all you have is the one that's in the gun. So if you ever wanted to use the vicious salvo effect for more damage, once you do that, you're out of ammo. You can't shoot.
Okay, so I at the end of this, I get enough ammo just having the what one clip, basically, right?
Correct. Correct. So if you do not have an ammo belt on your character sheet, then yeah, that's
Right.
all you have.
Okay, so you just have the one.
But
Okay,
as long as you don't use the salvo effect, it's basically infinite bullets.
Right.
is that right? Oh, that's wonderful. Okay.
But you can't use the salvo effect and get the vicious. So just keep that in mind. It's one of those things. If it's life and death, you might have to go ahead and empty your gun.
Mm.
But then you have to fight with.
Yeah,
Uh,
I suck at that kind of combat anyway, so that's like the last stitch.
um, all right, let me look at this thing. Um, so we have 1 point left, eh? Hmm.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Uh, uh,
Well, that's
Now, is this just for munitions? Are there
oxymoron.
other things, other equipment available too, or is
you
this
can pretty much buy anything that's got a restriction cost of one in the
anything?
player's guide.
What page is the? I saw the weapons. Where's the other gear?
Other gear starts on page one. Starts on page 110.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Do you guys take a look at that? We've got burglar's tools, electrician tools.
I have burglar tools.
I have mechanic tools.
There's a demolition kit.
Cost two.
Well, we're doing a one. Damn it.
First aid kit's kind of helpful.
I might have that already. No.
Because a first aid kit comes with enough medicine. It's basically a one use item, but it comes with enough medicine to gain 3 bonus momentum for buying d20s. So basically, if you have to make a first aid roll, like you would have done on con if you guys didn't have fortune to make the roll for you, basically you could burn those 3 momentum in one roll and have 4 d20s on a first aid roll.
Mm.
Or you could burn just one and get 1 d20 and have 3 dice and be able to do it 2 more times. So that's kind of a neat item for one cost.
I do agree with that. It wouldn't be a bad thing to have on hand.
No, just a nice
No.
utility item.
I was thinking about a disguise kit, but I got to tell you, since we're going to Italy and I don't speak Italian, I don't think trying to fool anyone is going to work out very well.
Right.
We were in Vienna and I could speak my German, but
And he speaks Italian third best. I don't speak Italian. Like I said, third best.
Does anybody speak Italian here?
no.
Absolutely not.
Oh, somebody's going to have to buy that language then, I guess, right?
Some kind of interpreter.
Okay, so
I mean, it's. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, looking at the different restrictions, since we only have the 1 point left, maybe the first aid kit is the best thing.
Yeah, that or I was just thinking for Baker, a disguise kit. You don't necessarily have to speak, right? I mean, you could just, it's Italy, so a striped shirt and a mustache. I can say this because I'm Italian. I don't know, but seriously, like a disguise kit. I mean, you're always there's always advantage to you being in the shadows, Or we could look at identity documents because there's a safe house included with that, if I'm reading that right.
Well, it costs two.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you'd have to give up something else. I mean, there's a couple other options as well. If you go further in, like the like for instance, you could do instead of the disguise kit. The disguise kit, is specifically to pass as somebody else. There's
Right.
there's there's a you can get a set of covert clothing for restriction one,
Oh, I see.
which if you want to talk about literally sneaking around at night, um, that's certainly an option to you.
Well, um, right now my stealth is 3, and that normally would go with agility. When you're looking at stealth, so that's 13, and I have a disguise focus, so maybe I really don't need a kit to try and boost that up yet. I think the first aid kit is a good idea based on the fact that now I'm gaming the system a little bit, but that was the first mission, and it wasn't supposed to be terribly difficult. It's to learn the system, so the next missions are just going to get harder. We're going to get beat up a lot more. Just a thought.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So is that a decision then? Is that a first aid kit?
Sounds like first aid kit.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to carry it. I guess it makes sense to have Walter carry it because he had the best
Yeah.
overall roll.
How's his encumbrance?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. How do we track that?
You get one major or one minor item by definition.
I thought it
All
was I thought it was 1 major and 3 minors.
I'll double
And what's he
check.
carrying? A book?
Yeah, I mean honestly, I'm looking at
Hmm.
it. I'm looking at his character sheet. All he's got is analytical tools and his 1911, which are both minor items. So he's
Okay,
got the
so
room
Hmm.
for it either way.
yeah,
Okay.
because
First aid kit.
3 minors equals 1 major, so he could even have.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of
Okay, he's
space.
got plenty of space. Cool.
All right. So from a nuts and bolts standpoint, um, you guys. All right, so you guys sent the telegram in with your report and your requisitioned items for your trip to Rome. Uh, it's in the middle of the night, so it's really not an issue of being able to get a full night of rest. Like you said, you'll have to sleep on the train. Does anybody want to do anything else before we go ahead and fast forward to that next step?
Are we going
Well,
to level on the train or level behind the scenes? What do you want us to do?
We can do it right now if you want.
let
Okay.
me ask, did you guys all decide how you were going to use your EXP to plus yourselves up?
Yeah, that's what I was asking there.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I was going to kind of pull the group here. Um, so Slim, obviously, like the whole adventure, he's been wanting to run and gun and like been really wanting to. I don't know. He's just doesn't think things through, and he's not very sharp, and he's kind of impatient. And through the process of the adventure with you three, you guys have sort of like coached him into being, um, a more reserved covert operative. So I was thinking of increasing his reason or his will. Um, does anyone have any input about what they think would be best for him?
Well, let's
Not best
talk about
mechanically.
let's talk about this for 1 second.
Hmm.
XP gain. So going forward, I'll need you guys to do me a favor
Okay.
and keep track because as with me keeping track of threat momentum and everything else, it gets a little hard. Any situation where you buy bonus D20s to make a roll and fail that roll, I need you to keep track of when that happened because you get 1 XP every time that happened. And I know it happened to everybody in this mission, but I didn't realize to keep track of that, right? Um, And I'll keep track of the threat spend side of it. So you guys all have 13 XP. Now, there was the one thing that there were two things in my email. One of them was invoking a truth to gain fortune. That is specifically there was no real opportunity for this. That is using a truth about your character to create a negative situation that has a real impact on you in the moment to gain a fortune point. No one has any scars to invoke. You know, my. So anyway, so there was no opportunity there, but that'll be there in the future. The other thing is the heroic deed, because the game is meant to be a pulp game, and you guys are supposed to be pulp heroes. The point is the game rewards heroic deeds, and what we're supposed to do as a group is discuss what heroic deeds happened, and then we actually rate them in order of how heroic they are as a group, with the number one guy, the guy with the most heroic deed getting 5 XP. Anyone else who committed one gets 3. Um, my first reaction was I didn't really come up with any heroic deeds, but Sharif had a good point that Singh did literally transpose himself between the thug and Pilecki, and he actually took an injury. If he took 2 points of damage, I'd have been like, I don't know if that qualifies. But he actually took an injury that required real treatment and could have left him with a scar. Um, I think that's the only really heroic deed that happened in the game. You know, from the standpoint of real risk and potential of loss to the character. If anyone has anything else to come up with, please mention it. But I think most everything else was everybody just doing their thing and playing to their strengths, but there wasn't a lot of real risk in it.
No, I agree. That one's probably
Yeah.
the memorable one. If there was anything else, that's it. I mean, yeah,
Not
yeah,
having
it's
been there, it sounds reasonable to me. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I now I'm gonna screw the system a little bit on that, because the idea is the number one heroic deed gets 5 XP, and anyone else who committed another one gets 3. With that being the only heroic deed really that we agree on, I'm gonna make that 3 XP instead of 5, just so that Sing doesn't get too far ahead of everybody.
Oh
What?
no, please let him.
Yeah.
So looking at your character sheets, if you have any fatigue, drop that down to 0. Uh, take any stress, any X's off your stress track, take those off. Move your fortune up to 3, back to 3, because it regenerates mission end.
Okay.
And then you should have a block right there somewhere for XP. I think it might be right next to the fortune block.
It is.
Yeah, so go ahead and plug in your XP there. So what does that do? That puts everybody at 13 with Sing at 16.
Roger that.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now let's discuss your XP spends. It's 10 XP to make any one improvement, so you can do anything you really like. The passive increases to attributes and skills tend to be the most valuable early on. Um, the one thing I do like about this is that the talents in this game are not quite as game changing as they are in the Conan RPG, or a lot of the feats in like Dungeons and Dragons. Some of those can really change a situation, whereas here it's much more, or not really change a situation, but some of those feats and talents really turn someone into like a combat beat stick, whereas in this they're just kind of a slight improvement that is situational. But you guys decide what you want to do. My general recommendation would be to improve, is obviously to shore up a weakness, or to improve something you're already good at to push that to another level. But that's completely up to you guys.
So it's 10. And what about talents?
Anything to improve an attribute 1 point, a skill 1 point, by a focus or by a talent, all of them cost 10. Any one of them costs 10
Right.
XP.
Got
So basically, you can all make one improvement.
it. I this is a pulp game. And I really want this talent, but I'm not sure how it would work in game because so let me explain it. If I wanted the
What's it called?
survival, sorry,
What's the talent called?
companion, I want to buy a dog.
Oh, awesome.
And I want to use it like if we're walking around town, I'll just pretend I'm blind and let the dog, lead me,
That
and that
is
would be the excuse.
amazing.
I mean, I don't know, whatever you think there, Marty. I know it's out there, but I can see a lot of uses for this thing. And should something bad happen to the dog, you actually get to keep that skill, and then you can buy another one or something, and or convert it into something else. I think.
Yeah, I listened to one game where they changed the companion from a dog to a marmot. Um,
Dude,
Yeah, nice varmint.
if your dog is ever slain by enemy action or misfortune, you immediately gain a fortune point, and you have a choice between retraining the talent and getting a new dog, or replacing it with a different talent. That's really interesting. I
Right,
I mean, yeah, I'm if that's what you want to do, I'm good with it.
as long as it's
guy.
housebroken.
Yeah,
What kind of dog is that?
Have you considered a monkey?
yeah, right. Yeah, like Friends.
Just
Um,
thinking of like pulp shit from like
yeah.
Indiana Jones,
Well, I see, and
the
they
monkey with the
actually have.
dates.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. But they actually have stats for the dog and stuff in here. So, and he seems pretty good. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be good since I'm kind of the recon guy and everything.
I think that's real cool.
While the dog's owner remains in the scene, the dog has +2 courage. If that character is defeated, the dog will move as fast as possible to the character's side and will defend them from any enemy who gets too close. Interesting. Uh, yeah, yeah, he does only have 5 stress and can only take 1 injury, so yeah, he would be knocked out pretty easily if
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
attacks him. But I mean, it's a dog; you would expect that.
Sure, he's got
Um,
an insight of 10. So I mean, does that how like in game? I mean, is it realistic to think of him as like an early warning device
Yeah,
or
absolutely. I mean,
like a
he's got an insight of 10, observation of 3 with smell and taste. I think the way I would handle that in game is
mhm,
if we're in a situation where I'm asking for an insight observation roll to spot something or something along those lines,
mhm.
I would probably give you the choice of rolling your own character or rolling the dog.
Okay.
And
And it's also got
that's probably
a sort
more a role playing flavor thing too.
yeah,
The dog leading you to it or something along those lines.
sure. And it's got a tracking ability too.
Yeah, yeah. Survival 2 with a focus and tracking.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm getting a dog
Okay. All right.
unless there's objections. I think it
Now,
would be good to
thematically, I
have
think
a
that's really cool.
yeah, nice. Okay.
You'll have to let us
I'll add
know
that.
what breed it is.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Uh-huh.
What's everybody else thinking about doing?
What is the best way to raise courage if that were a thing?
That is a thing. The quickest and easiest way to raise courage is by raising one of the attributes. Give me 1 second. Page
Guessing
35.
that's Will, probably.
I think it's will. There's a couple different ways to do it. The Well, that's weird. The index says page 35, and it is absolutely not page 35. Interesting. That was not very helpful. That was
I was
actually very
I was
not helpful.
looking I was looking at courage yesterday.
I do believe there's a talent that does it. So there's a talent called Courageous, which gains you courage equal to your resistance skill. which is really impressive because obviously any skill can eventually be increased up to 5.
It
Um,
it gives you courage equal to what?
your resilience skill.
Okay,
The other thing is by raising the.
that's a lot of courage for me if I do that.
It's really cool.
That's 2 points.
You can also raise courage by raising your will. What's your current will?
Currently, my will is 9.
So you're at 9. If you move that up to 10, you would gain a point of courage, and then you would gain another one if you got it up to 12.
So how do you figure courage?
Your courage is basically straight from, unless you have something else that gives it to you, it comes straight from your will. So if you have an 8 or lower will, you have no courage whatsoever.
Okay.
If you have 9, you gain 1 point. At a 10 or 11, you have 2 points, and at a 12, you have 3. And there are some other things that can give courage, but it basically comes from a direct relation to your will, or if you have the courageous talent.
Gotcha. And courage helps you withstand
It
mental
soaks
attack
mental damage, correct?
and also um,
Oh, that's why Khan's thinking about it because of the
and fear, right?
spellcasting. Yes.
Because we haven't run into the really
Yeah,
the
in the
when an
way
awful guy shows up, there's a fear factor, right?
right, and the game basically handles it mechanically as a mental attack. But yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, when something really nasty shows up. Not that that'll ever happen in a game called Achtung, Cthulhu.
Right.
I am
Well, I
playing such a low will character in a Cthulhu setting. I am
had things you'll regret later. I'm going to farm Will.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
Well, speaking for me, I don't know if it's a good time to, air out my laundry with this. I can't. I spent some time looking over the book yesterday trying to decide, and yeah, I didn't end up with a clear choice. But I favor either raising my insight, mainly for spellcasting, but also for it seems to be a stat that I use to do a lot of skill checks, things like observation, persuasion, things like that. So it seems very useful to bring it up. And I'll get a bonus point because from 11 to 12 you get a bonus, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
your damage on certain attacks, especially your spells, will go up.
yeah, I find that to be a very attractive possibility because I couldn't finish the deal on Fuchs. Didn't do enough damage, so that would have been good to have a little extra kicker. Will because of the also because of so insight is because of skill tests and magic, right? So there's two reasons to do it. Will mostly because of magic. Um, I could raise it or get that talent you were talking about, which would raise it 2 points. Or the other thing I was thinking of was toughness, because with the fatigue that I had last round, I had less than half available boxes to me, and that seemed like maybe not the most ideal thing. And tough gives you 3 boxes of stress.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's the best I could do. There were some like weird talents that were kind of cool, but they all have a cost that I'm not
Mhm.
sure I want to. And sometimes the cost isn't even borne by me. Sometimes it's borne by allies. So it's like I don't know. Interesting, but seems like a little of a double-edged sword. So I think I'll avoid that for that kind of stuff for now.
So what did you pick?
I didn't. That's what
You
I'm
didn't.
saying.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
it's basically one of those. Either I raise my insight. That's kind of where I'm like, uh, that's sort of my leading. I'm leaning towards just raising my insight. It's a little boring, but I think it'll have some impact.
It's definitely a long term passive impact that will change a lot of roles. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
kind of how I feel.
because by doing that by 1 point, you increase your target number on any insight based roll by one. I mean, it literally increases your chance of success on any insight roll by 5%. I mean, that goes for raising any attribute. You know, I, I don't disagree with your thought processes at all. Because obviously, increasing your insight will have a direct and noticeable effect on any of your spell casting and just general observation rolls, and that's a great thing. Increasing your will or picking up that courageous talent, because magic can have such a cost, the ability to soak some of that could be very helpful. So I don't I think all of them are great options, and they're probably all options you'll pick up eventually. As far as which one makes the most impact now, well, I guess that's what you guys have to decide what you think.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just. I think the most impact will be if I raise insight.
Okay.
Although I'll regret not raising will later, I'm sure.
And you'll have your chance. Don't worry.
Yep.
There's plenty of XP to be had in this game.
Yep. All right.
And
I'm good.
when we try and use persuasion to maybe charm somebody or intimidate them or whatever, is it will or is it insight that goes
Um,
with persuasion? It does
with
it depend.
persuasion, it's usually will,
Okay.
but there could be arguments for other things. It depends on how you're trying to persuade. For instance, if you're trying to physically intimidate somebody, that would be brawn plus persuasion. If you're making a well reasoned, logical list of bullet points in an argument, it would be reason and persuasion. So it just depends on what the situation is. If you're just trying to be a charming guy and say, hey, do this because I'm asking you to, pretty please, then that would be will plus persuasion.
I don't remember too many games where the skills aren't tied specifically to an attribute. It's kind of interesting that this game allows that.
Well, yeah, the idea behind it is to give players more agency to make a how should I put it, to make up a situation that plays to their particular skill set a little bit better. Again, if you're just trying to sneak past the guards, generally that's going to be agility plus stealth. But if you're making the argument of, well, I want to keep an eye on these guys for a moment and see if I see an opportunity where they tend to get distracted and then use that opportunity to, well, then you can turn it into, you know what I mean? You can turn it into an observation test instead, stuff like that. So, anyway, back to Baker, sorry.
Um. Yeah, that was just my question. The reason I say that is I've got a persuasion of 2, but it doesn't seem to help me that, and a focus of deceive, but it doesn't seem to help me that much. Although I did succeed at one roll this time, I also failed at a roll because my reason's only 6. But I'm not sure I help the team that much if I increase that my reason by 1. I still have pretty low chances of deceiving people face to face. It's better if I stick to stick to stealth and staying in the shadows. So I've got the same issues. Is that for one of my weapons? I think it's my knife. It's agility plus fighting, which gives me a 14, which is pretty good, as you guys have noticed. And then for the handgun, it's coordination plus fighting, which gives me 13, which is also pretty good. Improving those makes it better, but um, do we need that? Or if Hachi, if I got a focus, say in if I got a focus in melee weapons, that would help my knife skills, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
it
what
would. What's your fighting?
for?
Your fighting's a 4. So yeah, instead of getting a critical success on a 1, you would get a critical success on a 1 through 4.
That's
Okay,
huge.
and then if I coupled that with the assassination skill, that could be helpful. Um, I also didn't pay attention that I have sharpshooter talent, so I need to pay attention to that when I'm using a weapon, using a handgun or a rifle, because I didn't use it at all last time, and I could have, I think. So sorry about that, you guys. Yes, all right. So I'm struggling here. My brawn is decent. My
Oh wow.
what?
Yeah, on sharpshooter, if you aim as a minor action before making a ranged attack, the first bonus d20 you buy is free.
Right. So I could
In
just
in
get.
addition, the attack gains the piercing quality or improves the weapon's piercing quality by 1, so it helps you go through armor too. That's actually really impressive.
What skill or talent is this?
It,
Sharpshooter.
yeah,
Sharpshooter.
yeah,
And
something Baker has.
I didn't use it because I forgot I had it. That's an oversight. All right. The only other issue I have is that my observation rolls were not particularly good throughout the entire thing. I have an insight of 9 and an observation of 2, so that's only an 11. That's been particularly. But you guys have some pretty good observation rolls, right?
Yeah, Sing's got a really good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I got a 12 total.
I'm looking at a
The
15 plus a
observation
focus. So I'm
to-
at 15 plus focus and instincts.
Yeah. So I guess I got to figure out what's going to be best for the team. I think I'm going to go ahead and I've got athletics uh, and climbing as a focus. If I use that athletics as a skill test, Hachi, is that usually agility or coordination?
It could be a couple different situations.
Okay.
Like for instance, if you're trying to lift something heavy, it would be brawn. If you're trying to do a tightrope, it'd probably be agility. If you're climbing up a rock face, I would say it's coordination. I would say it could vary on the situation.
All right. Who has the best brawn in the team?
It's either you or Slim, I think.
I always
Yeah,
thought I always thought it was Henry.
I'm a 9. I think it probably is Henry.
I'm a 9
Okay.
as well in brawn.
Well,
Okay.
you guys don't have a stereotypical beat stick character, do you?
All right. I'm going to stop agonizing over this. I'm going to go ahead and increase. I've decided I want to increase an attribute because it can help a number of items that use that attribute in a skill test rather than increase a skill. John Hartman,
Yeah. I was just messing around with this character sheet.
baseball bat.
Yeah, so John Hartman, if you guys have read it, John Hartman is the main character in my short story Vevelsburg, and he's the main character in my upcoming novel in October. So I kind of just built him in the game as a starting character, just because
That's cool.
I was messing around with the character sheet. So because his background is athlete, one of his starting items is a baseball bat or something similar. He's American in 1940, so you figure a baseball bat makes a lot of sense, right? Um, so yeah, I was just messing around. Anyway, sorry.
I'm going to increase my coordination from 9 to 10.
Okay. All right. So that's all the spends. So, gentlemen, please, if you didn't already, please make sure you reduce your experience points by 10.
Can I do something for like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Little scene. Okay. Where's Sing at? What's he doing that evening or that night?
Well, I guess, are we on a railway car? Like, where
Not
are
yet.
we?
Not
Guess
yet.
it
This is the
depends
night
where we
before.
are.
Yeah. Like
The
in the
night
safe
before
house
we're
somewhere.
here.
Yeah, we're sandwiched in that early morning hours time where we haven't left the safe house, but the train's at 9. So as soon as dawn breaks, we're going to want to make our way to the train station. But we're not. We haven't left yet, as far as I understood. We were handling all our accounting.
Yeah,
Cthulhu, the accounting.
that's right.
So is Sing? I assume Sing is in the room resting or whatever.
He's very fastidious about his grooming and his ablutions and various meditations. So perhaps he's either waxing the tips of that outrageous handlebar, or he's meditating, growing his insight. We'll say he's meditating. How's that? He's got his
Okay.
little. He's got a little rug that he puts out. He sits upon it, lotus style, and meditates on the
All right.
shifting planes of dimensional reality.
And where is the stab wound of his?
His lower right quadrant of his
Okay.
abdomen.
All right. So he's in Lotus. He's on the carpet or the rug or whatever. I assume it's sort of a quiet room, and you hear sort of a door click open, closed unceremoniously, and Slim comes sort of plodding into the room, and you hear like the sloshing of a drink, and you hear thump thump on the floorboards, and he sits down like in front of Sing, and he's got his knees up and his arms wrapped around his knees, and he's holding a metal flask, and he's looking right at him, and
Without opening his eyes, Singh will say, "Your scotch, the smell, is disturbing my meditations, young man."
and he pauses and he swirls the flask a little bit, and he turns his head and he looks at Sing's wound, and he says, "Well, shit, Singy, that ain't any bigger than a mole on a gnat." And
Singh will open one eye at that.
and he smirks. And he says, "You want some of this?" And he holds out a flask of a peated scotch.
No, thank you, Slim.
Listen, I know you're in the middle of something. You got a second?
Singh will sigh, but only to himself.
All right. He looks around the room. He looks back at the door, and he says, "Inspector, this is some scary shit. Growing up out in the country, we didn't have anything like this. My preacher warned me against the dark magic, and that pressure feller, he's scarier than get out. I saw what you did back there. You on our side?"
You're asking if I am on your side, Slim?
"Yeah, this magic shit, it just doesn't sit right with me. I'm a God-fearing man, sir."
Singh will nod thoughtfully. I see.
Uh,
Wait a moment. And he'll get up and he'll go to his personal effects. And he's rifling through his things. And he finds, let's see, what does he find? he finds a little medallion, and he returns, and he hands it to Slim.
What am I looking at right here?
This was given to me by my father. It is an ancient symbol meant to convey courage. When my father gave it to me, he said, "Against the darkness, all one can do is walk the path of light. You're a warrior, Slim. You're already on the path of light. Whatever comes your way, you shall meet it with great resolve. I have confidence in you. I see the spirit of light in you."
He looks up at him and he looks at the medallion and maybe he's like got it in his hand. He's like looking at it, looks back at him and he caps the flask and he nods and he says, "You taught me a lot, sir. It's a privilege to be working with you. I appreciate your wisdom."
Slim doesn't have to know that that was just like a little decoration that came with his turban.
And is this something that you're handing to Slim, or is this?
Yeah, he's giving it to Slim, but with this story that it's this
Yeah.
great keepsake that will make you brave in the face of horrible danger. When really it's like $9.95 at JCPenney came with the turban.
So he like puts the flask in it, tucks it in a pocket, and then he's like he's holding this trinket with like the utmost respect, like it's very meaningful to him. And he like puts it around his neck, and he's holding it, and he there's like moments of quiet, and he says, I appreciate that, sir. I will stand with you against the dark." And he slaps him hard on the shoulder, and he walks out like preoccupied with this thing, and he's gonna take a bonus to his will.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Or you know what? Since it's a medallion, I'm gonna say courageous because I think that'll have more of a mechanical effect. And I'll say it's like tied to this idea that he's like protected by a magical talisman.
That's awesome.
Well, it's only half a lie, of course. The provenance of the medallion is a lie, but Singh definitely sees the light of courage in Slim. So whatever it took to make him see it in himself,
Right.
it's
Right.
justified.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna take courageous. I'm gonna say that like he was really spooked before, but like the professionalism and the wisdom of you guys has like lifted him up.
Nice. So you're taking the courageous talent then?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
What's your resilience score?
2.
2. So that'll add 2 points of courage to you.
So what's interesting there is in that scene, I wanted to play it out because right next to above courageous, there's a talent called the stiff drink.
Oh.
And so I was trying to decide between, because stiff drink gives you a flask you take everywhere and you can cure stress.
Oh.
So I thought that's where I was going, but then this just seemed like a better fit. So
Nice. I like it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Well, that tough talent is pretty nice, man. Three stress boxes.
yeah,
That's pretty good. I was thinking
Well,
about that one
no,
myself.
yeah, I just think courageous is.
Oh, not courageous. I'm sorry. I was talking about tough. Courageous is good too, because obviously, in the face of eldritch horror, it can't hurt you to have more courage.
It's a true statement.
All right. Well, thank you for giving me that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As a side note, one thing to consider for the future, Slim, in
Uh-huh.
case you ever feel the need to do a salvo attack with that machine gun again and hit a whole bunch of guys at one time,
Yeah.
there's a talent under fighting called 5 rounds rapid.
Oh,
When you
I like
open
that.
fire, you're able to unleash a devastating volley. When you make a ranged attack and spend ammo to make a salvo attack, your first bonus d20 is free.
Nice.
So if you were to spend your ammo to do a salvo attack with the machine gun, which hits multiple targets, you get a bonus d20 that you don't have to pay for.
Amazing. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We'll see where this next adventure takes him.
All right. Wow. Okay. So uh, morning comes, you guys head over to the take a cab. I assume to take yourselves down to the train station in southern Vienna. Uh,
Yes, Slim. There's no need to steal a car. We'll just take a cab.
But we're not
Uh,
coming back, Baker.
what is the red line going from Vienna to Rome? Is that as a nonstop, or are we going? Are we?
yeah,
Well,
it
this is a train, not a plane, right?
no, it's a train. It's a line that goes from Vienna to Rome almost daily.
Hmm.
And it does have a couple stops on the way, but usually it's just they're usually just mail stops, which is why it's perfect for getting you guys your requisitions. Because you would have at this point already telegrammed that back, so they'll
Hmm.
arrange to have that picked up when you're on your way. So you'll have it by the time you reach Rome.
Okay. I was just asking how to pick up my dog.
Oh, that's a
I'm
really
assuming that
interesting question.
I've worked with her before and but didn't bring her on this mission, so it would either be, brought, she would be brought by with the equipment, with a handler or something like that, I would imagine, somewhere
Yeah,
along the way.
yeah, I think we can. I think we can make that happen. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. That makes it easy.
And I can pick up a pair of like dark glasses for the full misdirection of being blind and the appropriate harness without any doing anything weird, right?
No, no.
Okay.
Basic
This is
basic supplies.
starting to sound like a joke. A blind Polish guy
Yeah, blind Polish guy walks
walks
in.
into a bar.
With a dog.
I I have to tell just this very short story. Kyle, I don't know if you were working on a unit at the time, but
Uh,
there was a point where we had I ran a partial hospitalization mental health program for a while, and we had a woman come in and she was partially blind, like not totally, but enough that she needed a guide animal. And this guide animal was the worst behaved thing I think I've ever seen. Would routinely run her into walls, like, take her, through, like walk to the
uh,
door and not, it's not tripped. And she's just like, and she laughed about it. I mean, it was like kind of like a running joke for everybody because it's cute, it was the worst seeing eye dog I've ever seen.
that's funny.
So I anticipate a little humor along the way with Luca, the German Shepherd.
Ah,
Luca, the German Shepherd.
Yeah.
yeah, you're
And are
right though. This does sound like a joke. You got a blind Polish guy, a Texan, and a Sikh all arrive in Rome.
Walk into a bar.
and the dog is he on the train with us, or she rather? Is she on the train with us?
Yeah, we're picking her up along the way somewhere. Yeah, and the name Luca actually is there's a famous war dog from Iraq that hunted IEDs and landmines and found over 400 in the 6 years she was there.
I read an
Oh, I like
article
that.
about her once. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty crazy. So in
Um,
honor of that, I'll try not to have her killed accidentally.
which is better for the narrative? Slim likes dogs, or Slim is allergic to dogs?
Well, you're from Texas. Everybody likes dogs in Texas, don't they?
All right. We'll take we'll take it.
Dogs and horses,
Yeah,
but they
exactly.
like to eat cattle.
The the dogs or the horses?
I said they like to eat. Oh, the
The
dogs.
Texans.
The Texans like to eat cattle.
Right.
Slim will eat the ass end of a dead raccoon.
Oh God.
That doesn't surprise me. That's not surprising at all.
By the
Um,
way, um, back in 1939, a train going from Vienna to Rome is probably going to take somewhere around 18 or 20 hours.
yeah, yeah. You guys are combined with two mail stops where you guys get delivered your requisitions and Walter's dog. Uh, you guys have basically till the next morning that you arrive in Rome. So there's obviously enough time for everyone to get their full 8 hours, which is what kills the stress and fatigue, which I know mechanically we've already done, but that's
Quick
there.
question.
Yes, please.
So sorry. Can we say that Walter's reunited with his dog? It's not the first time he has his
Right.
dog.
True.
He's
Reunited.
reunited.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Narratively,
Okay.
absolutely. So there is some time on the train if anybody has anything they want to do beyond just the rest and recovery.
No, I'll just we'll just do theater of the mind here about how into this new dog Slim is. But for the sake of introducing the next mission, we can speed along.
All right.
Wow, guys, modern day tickets for a train from Vienna to Rome are less than $75.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Man,
Yeah, you gotta love a good infrastructure.
But
nice.
how much is a train ticket from the states to Vienna?
Uh,
All right, where's the book? All right. Um. So yeah, along with your requisitions, there is a note that gives you guys some information that you already knew thanks to Khan. That the the two people that you're looking for, their real names are Nikki Filippi, um, and well, shoot, where's her name? What the heck? I'm having one of those moments. I really did make a point of really preparing for this, and somehow it's just all failing. Anyway, you have the real names of the two agents. Of course, their code names are Lucrezia and Peschino. I included in your requisitions were a map of Rome, uh, I, as well as a tourist guidebook. So that just it's like any other tourist guidebook, talks about all the major sites. For those of you who aren't familiar, um, the the name of the art supply shop that they're running is a place called Carlavaro's, uh, which is on the Via della Madonna dei Monti, not far from the Forum. The Rome is a huge, sprawling, and confusing city. The What you do know is that the code names for the two Section D agents in Rome are named after the city's famous talking statues. Something has obviously gone wrong in the internal city, and given the lack of subtlety in the message, Lucrezia is desperate for help. Peschino, you believe, or Section D believes, has disappeared. And going off the less than sophisticated sausages reference, there's obviously been an increase in German activity. One other important piece of news: in the time that you've been on the train going to Rome, France and Great Britain have declared war on Germany after Germany's invasion of Poland.
Oh wow! I wonder how Pilecki's feeling about that.
Yeah. Well, we probably got word from on a train. How would you get word on a train?
Oh, and during one of the mail stops, I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
there's newspapers being circulated around and that type of thing. Big
Yeah.
headlines.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there was a
Germany.
lot of
Poland.
excitement from everybody. You
Absolutely.
Sure.
know, when you stopped, there were people milling about smartly and talking about it.
Now, from a historical standpoint, just so you guys are aware, Italy is not at war yet. Italy
Right.
did not declare war on the British and French until 1940. However, there's still quite a bit of anti-ally sentiment. Um, Now, I think the only one that really kind of directly impacts is going to be Singh, because let's be blunt, Baker is American, Slim is American, Pilecki is Polish, but he's fluent German. He could probably masquerade as a German. So Singh is the only person that would be viewed as an enemy of Italy because he's obviously from the colonial empire. Though not they're not at war, so not necessarily an enemy, but someone that would probably be kept an eye on very closely. But yeah, you guys you guys arrive in Rome. It's Rome is a very very busy city.
Talking on mute here.
Oh,
So when
sorry.
we no worries, that's my bad. When we get to the station here, or maybe even beforehand, maybe the agents are talking a little bit about where are we going to set up shop? Are we going to go right to this print shop, or is there a you know are we grabbing a hotel? Is there a safe house? I'm not sure if anyone has any contacts or anything like that that they're looking to leverage, or is this sort of we get the hook for the mission and then go from there?
I mean, I think I'd be under assumption that there would probably be a safe house in Rome. It's a major city and in the area, and right. I mean, or do we have to create that as with a?
Well, you could create it with a truth, or being that Khan does work directly for Section D, I would say
Mhm.
Khan could probably make a
I
we
think he works for section or for what is it called?
well
The M
Section M, correct,
section one, yeah.
right, which is the quote unquote occult arm of British intelligence,
Okay.
but a close cousin to
I
Section
didn't know
D.
if it mattered. I just thought I'd
No, I would
bring it up.
think that you would probably have a degree of knowledge about British intelligence in the area, which so with in an absence of momentum to create a truth, I would allow Khan to make a I would allow Khan to make a roll of reason plus, because this would be based on his actual knowledge. I would allow, well, you all work in intelligence. Anyway, I would allow somebody to make a reason plus tactics roll with a covert ops focus to see if you know of a safe place for you guys to hunker down in Rome.
So who's
Whose reason
gonna roll
plus
this?
tactics is the best, and if anyone has a covert ops focus.
Mine is an 8 with no focus.
Let me ask a
11.
different question.
Okay,
We can roll for it, but normally, if we had momentum, we could create a truth with momentum.
correct, with two momentum.
And if we want to, we can still create that truth if we give you threat.
Correct.
So we got that, guys.
Oh, please.
I
Right.
would, I would, I would say, I would say, whoever's got the best roll, go ahead and roll. And
I've got 11. 10 reason, 1 tactics, no focus. I don't know if anybody has more than 11.
I can't come close to that.
Reason tactics.
Yeah.
I'll roll it, but I got nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Yeah. So I guess it's me, right?
All right.
Yeah. So reason, 2 dice.
Difficulty one.
Relevant skill, tactics, focus apply, nuke, difficulty 1. All right, come on. First roll of session.
Oh wow! Yes.
uh,
All right, I have
And
no
it
idea.
We should have had Luca roll.
Yeah, no, yeah, really, Luca. What is? She can sniff
Lassie,
it
do you
out.
know of a safe house in Rome?
Ruff,
Yeah,
Take
ruff,
us there,
ruff.
girl.
good girl, good girl.
Lassie says the safe house compromised.
Now
Yeah.
but now we get to use that old joke. Does your
That's the-
dog bite?
Yeah.
No.
It's not my dog.
Nah, that's not my dog. I thought you said your dog doesn't bite. That's not my dog.
That's a good one.
All right. Do we want to? I mean, we got to dump our stuff someplace.
That's true because Slim right now is getting off the train with his duffel bag. So
I mean,
That bag is an artifact, I think.
you guys could you could give me threat to create a truth. I mean, you could give me two threat to give yourself a two momentum truth, or
Great way to start, guys.
either that or you
First
can.
thing we do is give him threats.
That's right.
Yeah. Fortune doesn't work in this area.
You can burn a fortune point to create a truth. That's
Yeah.
an expensive use of a fortune point, but yes. Or you can just start moving and hope you generate momentum during some roll somewhere that you could then later use. Up to
Well,
you.
let's do
I
that.
could try to use an observation roll to see if we were followed, and perhaps I will, or to see if we are currently being followed, and perhaps I'll
That's
get lucky
true.
and generate some momentum.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Let's keep
I
our eye
do-
on
we
the
needed-
complications.
I do have a talent called Constantly Watching. When I attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1 to a minimum of 0.
All right, make an insight observation. I'll let you use either sight or instincts as a focus, and it's going to make the difficulty 0.
Hey, nice.
Well, look at that. So you have 3
Well done.
momentum.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
I had an idea that panned out. Holy shit!
But did he notice
all
anybody
downhill.
watching us?
Yeah.
So the answer to that is yes and no. You're not being watched directly, but there are, based on what you know of the general intelligence situation, and uh, and Rome as a whole, and as you're looking around, there does seem to be more German soldiers in the area than you would expect. Now, that doesn't mean that they're walking around everywhere, that there's squads of German soldiers all over Rome, but there are a few, and that in and of itself just seems surprising. But there's two groups of people that you specifically know to keep an eye out for, and they are. I mean, they're in the train station, and as you leave Rome, as you leave the train station, they're in the streets of Rome. Um, One is called the Carabinieri, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing horribly.
Yeah.
Cops, right?
What's that?
Those cops.
Aren't those cops?
They
Gotta
are
be
the
more.
cops. They're specifically the black shirt special police, and they're literally called that because they wear black shirts with red ties, with red bow ties, and those are specifically the Roman special police. They work with the normal police officers, the normal cops, but they report on anti uh, on they anyway. You get it. They're special police.
But Mussolini also had an arm of secret police.
Correct. And those are the OVRA.
Correct.
And Sing, you definitely spot as you guys are leaving the train station in general. You definitely spot and it's almost comical in a way because they're they're wearing double-breasted suits. It's almost to your trained eye, it's almost like putting a sign over your head saying Mussolini Special Police right here. But they report directly to Mussolini on anti-fascist behavior, anyone that could cause trouble, that type of thing. So those are the two groups of people that you would probably want to steer clear of, or certainly not draw attention from. And they definitely seem to permeate the general crowds all around Rome. But that created three momentum for you, which I'm assuming you guys want to spend two immediately to know of a safe place for British operatives to stay.
Correct.
Perfect. Um, where is this safe place? Um, Rome is a big place. Obviously, the there are so many different landmarks. Uh, Termini, or I guess it's pronounced Termini Station, which is where you guys came in, is kind of on the east. It's to the east of the river Tiber. For instance, in Vatican City, for example, with the St. Peter's Basilicas to the west of the river. The It's really kind of a question of name the landmark, and I can tell you where it's at. Comparatively, the the Coliseum is southwest of the station. The store that you're supposed to go to is where's the store? I have one of those very helpful maps that I can't show you because it has stuff on it. They really should have. That's my one complaint. Every one of these missions that takes place in a city or something has a map. They really should have created a player-friendly version.
Yeah.
That would have been very helpful.
That's an oversight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody in the community's made one yet.
Yeah, that's weird.
Not that I saw because I went looking for
Mm.
it.
I'd say I could, Photoshop you, like remove stuff from maps for you pretty quick if you wanted to send me, but then I'll sort of spoil it for myself by seeing the
Right.
DM's map, so that won't help.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I probably just need to sit down and figure it out on my end. But the shop that you're looking for is interestingly enough, I don't see it on the map. That is very annoying. It's on it. It's not far from the Forum, if you know where the Roman Forum is.
Hmm.
So, a couple kilometers away, not far in general.
Um, how about narratively? I'm digging through. It's been a while since I read my history about the Catholic Church's involvement during this period. I know that they were having meetings with the Nazis, right?
Oh yeah,
What if there is a priest or group of priests that don't agree with that, and so that they have arranged to aid passively the people like us?
oh that's
That's
very
the fucking
interesting.
slick idea. I
That
like
is a
that.
cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Resistance.
we want to make the safe house like a
Well,
smaller Catholic church or something along those lines.
we could go all Monty Python and put it in a convent. Uh, I mean,
I don't need to
I
be
think
rescued.
if we have a little
No,
bit of
no.
latitude here, I mean, putting the safe house into like a priest's apartment. I'm guessing. I don't know how they housed people back then, but I'm guessing some of the upper level priests probably were housed in groups of apartments, or um, maybe there's I would say monastery, but that might be obvious with us coming and going so much. I don't know, ideas? Or would they just purchase? Well, they're priests; they don't have any money. Although they might have contacts where they may have sympathetic landlords that contribute to the cause by providing these kind of places.
That that kind of makes some sense to me. I kind of
Um,
like that.
I think what you're searching for um, is that most, well, a lot of churches, but Catholic churches in particular, um, have a rectory near the church or attached to the church
Right.
that houses the priest. Um,
Right,
but
but
in Italy, there are so many
right,
chapels that they would normally they have rectories that are like basically a relatively large, by our standards it would be a big house, by Italian standards it would be a fairly large building that has multiple rooms and a kitchen and all that. So the rectory houses would house several priests, or many priests that uh, uh, and clergymen that work in the various churches nearby.
yeah, or even at the Vatican,
And there's not just one, or at the Vatican, but there's not just one, there's several all over
right.
the city.
And this might also provide us an excuse for why we're dragging a Sikh around as well. He could be an academic that is, learning about Catholicism, or is, um, an exchange kind of program, something like that.
An exchange student.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they do. They cross, they like to learn about other cultures and stuff. So, the Catholics, I mean. Um, So I don't know. Does any of those seem good to you, Marty?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. So I would say maybe like one of those, like what you were just saying, what Henry was just saying. I mean, I don't have a map in front of me, so I don't know where to plop it, but I would think that it wouldn't be too far from the Vatican.
Yeah, I mean that's easily enough. That's easily done. I mean
And it
we
might
can do
also
that.
give us a little bit of cover because I would imagine that, well, who knows? This is fascism, but I would think that there would be less of a chance of, you know, somebody coming into the place just to check us out, right? Because you just can't wander in and out of those places. It's got a little bit of reverence in the society.
Well, and historically, Mussolini didn't mess with the church. He knew
No, he
better.
did not.
He'd completely lose the support of the people.
Correct. Yeah, so the Vatican still operated with a large degree of their independence. Now they towed the line as well. They weren't going to come out right and say anything um, against fascism or Mussolini either, or at least they towed that line very carefully, which has of course led to in modern era a lot of criticism of the Catholic Church for that time period. But neither here nor there. All right, so yeah, that's easily done. The So that'll put your safe house on the western side of the Tiber River, and your the shop that you're looking to go to is actually on the eastern side of the Tiber River. So you can either do it on the way, or you can go hit the safe house and then come back. Up to you.
I'm carrying a lot of gear. Um,
To get to the safe house from here, based on that information, sorry to interrupt you,
mhm.
would be let's see here. It's it's 5 or 6 kilometers to go to the safe house, and then to backtrack, you'd be going back 2 or 3 kilometers the other way. So up to you.
Gotcha.
However you guys
Well, we're
want to do
cut
it.
up, bruised, and I guess we slept on a train. So, uh, yeah, I guess we can go on the way.
I see a vision. I see a taxi in our future.
And that's obviously another way to handle it. Yeah, you guys could just grab a cab and get over where you need to be, close to the safe house, then check in there, and then head back. So, I mean, that's certainly fine. However you guys want to do it.
I vote for going to the safe house. We
Yep.
can, Luca's not going to come with us everywhere all the time, so I might drop her off there with provisions and whatnot while we go and check out this first contact.
Okay, sounds good. Slim is always profoundly uncomfortable when someone else drives.
Especially in Italy.
That's right. Yeah.
Marty, 15-minute warning.
Yep, I got you.
Just keep your eyes closed.
Slim can't wait for the opportunity that he gets to drive a tank. He's really just waiting for that.
Oh, we're gonna make that happen
Hell
one of these days.
yeah.
All right. So drop your stuff off, drop off the dog, and then head to the street name that is 6 freaking words long. Five. Via della Madonna dei Monti. Jeezy Pete. Um,
The Madonna of, you said
Yes.
Diamante?
The Street of Our Lady of Diamante.
yeah.
Yeah.
Monti. What is
Lady of
Monti
the
in
Mount.
Italian? Maybe.
The Mount, maybe? Our Lady of the Mount. That seems
That seems
unnecessarily dirty.
yeah.
So the checking your map and finding where you're needing to head. Um,
Ah, look at you. Monte means mountain.
oh, very good.
So Mount, Lady of the
I
Mount.
speak French, so they're awfully similar, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I have
absolutely.
a funny related story later after the game.
The the shop is a place called Carlavaro's, and as you know, it's a stationery and artist supply place. Um, you guys arrived in the morning, made your way out to the safe house, came back via car. I mean, you're talking about a grand total of 8 or 9 kilometers back and forth. I can't imagine that took too long, so I'm sure we're still before noon. Streets of Rome are crowded. Rome is it's overall kind of a confusing city. For instance, to someone like Slim, who might be used to small town America, where you've got Main Street is a bunch of businesses, and then people live beyond, outside beyond that. You've got homes and apartments right next to shops, right next uh, uh, to shrines, right next to this, right next to that. It's just there's no rhyme or reason to the way the city is laid out. Um,
Yeah, he is just amazed, I think, by every new location
Is he a
because
gog?
he's what's that?
Well, that's going to play into our we're just stupid tourists, Ossifer.
Yeah,
That whole
yeah.
vibe. Who's got that tourist map?
And he's seen cities, from his travels in the military and stuff, but he's still a country bumpkin at heart.
Yeah, and Rome is surely going to be very impressive to someone like him.
And pretty chicks.
Yeah. Now the and you guys, I would have to believe that Singh is catching a lot of side eye. Maybe not because people immediately recognize him as a member of the British Empire, but certainly just because of being a Sikh in the turban. He's probably a little out of place in Rome. Um, but
Yeah, I'm
as you
just here with my church group catching all the sights.
there you go.
Okay. I'm just a tourist.
You could almost sort of pass for a Gnostic Christian, not quite. You No, not quite at all, really, frankly. When you reach we reach the proper place in the street. There is you're coming up on the shop. It's squeezed between a couple of other buildings, and the name is carved of the shop is carved into a sign, a large wooden oak leaf shaped sign, but it's hanging askew over the door, and red paint has been slashed through the name as if someone like painted through the name. The front door, which looks like it had a pane of glass, has been boarded over. The And there's something nailed to that board, some piece of paper. The windows to the shop themselves aren't broken in, and they're not boarded over either.
Can we see anything in there?
Um, yeah. Just looking through just at a glance, it looks like the interior of the shop has been wrecked.
Okay. Wow. So, how populated is? I mean, I assume this is a busy street.
Oh yeah, there's people everywhere.
Okay.
So you
So,
said the door's been boarded over, but there's like a there's
Yeah,
a
like
paper tacked to it.
it looks like the door had a pane of glass set into it, and that has been boarded over, and there's a piece of paper nailed to those boards.
Okay, well, let's take a look. Is there something written on the paper
There is
in Italian?
in Italian. um, I would let someone make a. You're certainly not going to be able to read it if no one reads Italian. Uh, no one speaks Italian, but it would be. I would let someone make a reason academia roll if they with a focus in linguistics to see if they can get a clue as to what it's about.
I don't have linguistics, but I do have a.
I do indeed have that.
Oh,
I
you
would
do? Okay.
have, yeah, reason, you say, so I'd be at 11 with a focus.
And I'm at 12 without a focus, so I don't know what that does.
I'm at an 8. I'm tempted to roll just narratively because Slim's probably heard some Spanish, but that's as close as I got.
I do speak Latin. Did you ever see there's a video out there of a guy that goes to Rome and speaks Vulgate Latin to the Italians? Like he walks
Yeah.
up to Italians on the street and he's like, "Can you give me directions to the Colosseum?" And they're like, you can see them like looking at him like, "What did you say?" Like they can kind of tell that it's something close to Italian, but not Italian, and they think he's maybe got a regional accent or something for a while.
Oh,
And then
that's
like
funny.
one guy figures it out. He's like, "Are you speaking Latin?"
Find me a priest.
It's very funny. Yeah. So how are we doing this?
Well,
Um,
somebody see if they can.
Marty,
make roll.
refresh me. Like I've got like I said, what does the focus does what mechanically?
the
as far
focus
as
increases the critical success range up to the rank of your skill. So if you had typically on any D20 roll, a one's a critical success
right.
because it's below your target number no matter what, and it's a one, so it's always a critical. But if you have a three in a skill and you have an applicable focus, it raises the critical range up to a three. So if you roll a 1 through 3 on that D20, it becomes a
It's a
critical
critical.
success. Correct.
Oh,
And I
okay.
do have
Thank
a
you.
3 rank, so I guess probably
Yeah.
it should be me, huh?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Statistically, you got the upper.
And what's the difficulty?
One.
Okay. Yay.
Oh, there we go. That's weird. I didn't hear the sound effects.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
It is most definitely. While you can't read it, obviously, you're certain that it is a notice from the OVRA declaring the shop closed. What else it says, you don't know. And again, you know the OVRA is Mussolini's special secret police.
Okay. So this thing is sandwiched between two other buildings. Is
Correct.
there an obvious alley behind these row of buildings for servicing the shops?
Logically speaking, that makes sense, but not something that you can see access to from here. You'd have to find some way behind. There's not an alley between the buildings wide enough to allow someone to go through. They share walls.
Well, guys, there's an awful lot of people out here milling about. The last thing I want to do is unlock this front door and waltz in through the front door. Maybe we should try and find a back door.
I agree with that. Lead on, sir. You think we grab some spaghetti after this?
All right.
All right, so hey, splitting the group always works great. Let's do that.
There
Um,
we go.
Anyway, let's start walking down the street, look for and around the corner, try and find where there might be an alleyway that services the backs of the buildings.
Yep, yep, yep. And I'm not going to I'm not going to make anyone make a roll for this because you've been in cities, you know what you're looking for. Eventually, you do find an alley that connects over to another street known as the Via Cavour. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. And this is a narrower, less traveled street that provides access. It accesses a rear courtyard that seems to that has rear access to a whole bunch of the shops or other buildings that are in that particular section.
Okay.
So it's not much trouble to find that, and you're pretty sure you know which one belongs to the shop you're looking for because um, the back door, which is made out of wood, has another one of those notices nailed to it. But this is definitely there. It's certainly a whole lot less traveled. There's not many people on this
All right.
particular road, or especially in this courtyard.
Uh, is
You
there
want me to
anybody in
open
the
that?
courtyard?
Um, no, there's no one back there at the moment. Seems like one of those places that no one would be there unless they have a particular need or cause to be there. If that makes
Or
sense.
a delivery or something? Okay.
Correct.
So um, I'm going to proceed to the door. Is the door locked?
It is locked.
All right. I'm going to use my burglary tools to unlock it.
Okay. Yeah, so that knocks it down to a difficulty 0, so you don't even have to roll unless you want to roll for purpose of momentum.
I'm thinking we should probably generate some momentum.
Okay, that's fine.
Not a
So,
bad idea.
When that happens, is there also a chance for threat to be generated or no?
absolutely, if he gets a complication.
There's always a
Okay.
chance for a complication. So this would
Yeah.
be what have we said before?
Coordination
Coordination,
engineering with
coordination
mechanical
engineering.
engineering. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what we came up with. It's probably the only oversight in the rule system that I've seen in this game.
So he's like unlocking the door, and as it's quiet, you can hear Slim under his breath. We should have brought the bag.
And the dog.
Yeah.
Well, after the end of the last mission, Sing will never doubt the bag again.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. Nice job.
All right, gets you to 4. All right. Yeah, you picked the lock obviously very, very easily.
Wow.
It's nothing for a man of your talents, shall we say? And yeah, and it provides you access to a back room. The back room actually is the back room is actually a very small set of living quarters.
Hmm.
It's a single room with a couple of cots, a basin, a small stove, um, with a door that is currently open that looks like it goes into the main part of the shop.
Looks like they got pinched.
Looks that way. Uh, those of you that have really good observation skills, insight plus observation,
Yep.
mine's not great. It's not bad, but it's not outstanding. Maybe you guys should look around in the quarter, see if there's any hints, information. Are there any books? See what you can see if there's any hint to where Lucretia might be, or any information about her.
Well, I do have that detailed analysis, which allows you to burn 2 momentum to ask 3 questions to the GM about the scene.
Well,
Hold on one sec.
Yes.
Should I try a mundane
No.
observation roll first?
Yeah, of course. I'm just
Whatever we
saying
get
that,
from that, you'll
because
use
we haven't even looked around yet. But once we look around, if that fails or we needed it. I just thrown it out there that I still have that.
Okay, so basically, where we are is the shop's empty. It's been ransacked. We think whoever's been here has been grabbed up, and we've got to try and find. Um, from what we know, Pesquino has probably been grabbed up, um, and but we did not understand that Agent Lucretia has been grabbed up. That she is probably in hiding or whatever. We got to find some hints to where we might find her.
Marty,
Right?
I'm gonna search using observation,
Yep.
and I'm
Inside
trying to
observation.
use my instinct focus by I'm trying to search areas where I think obviously this place has been ransacked, so obvious things are already picked through. But I'm looking for areas that I think like a spy would hide something to resist being found. Like
Okay.
what would be panels or things, undercuts and like different. That's what
Can
I'm
I
trying.
Very good.
can I add to that roll too?
Yeah, you can make the roll as well. Sing will roll 2 dice, and Walter will roll one.
1 minute.
Can I use sight as my
Yes,
observation? Okay.
absolutely.
Difficulty is
Difficulty's one, which for you, Walter, you'll mark it as difficulty zero.
roll is done. I didn't hear the sound, so
That's so weird. All
maybe
right,
it doesn't ding anymore. I don't know.
I think Slim will keep watch then.
all right,
Got some momentum. That's good too. I don't know what we're at yet.
all right. So that's got you guys up to five actually, just like that. Slim, you can make an inside observation roll with sight since you said you're keeping watch.
Okay.
The place has been ransacked. Which you already knew just at a glance, obviously. The uh,
I heard it that time.
I'm a VIP, baby.
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Wow. All right. So Slim.
Six momentum now.
Yeah, six, which is the max. Slim. You are aware as you're keeping watch. You are aware there's actually in what Khan has pointed out to be what is probably an OVRA agent. He's actually out in front of the store. Not like right in front of the store, but out on the street in front of the store. Doesn't seem to be aware that you guys are inside, at least not at this point. The shop is ransacked. There's art supplies. Yeah, and you know what art supplies guys are. Colored pencils and coal pencils and canvases and sketchbooks and everything just everywhere. One thing that's a little out of the ordinary um, for what you feel to be an art supply store is it looks like there was a rack of postcards specifically featuring the a lot of touristy spots in the city. From the Basilica to the Colosseum to the Forum. All just kind of the normal stuff, including pictures of statues that you may or may not recognize. Yeah, it looks like old damaged statues. Um, the the other thing is there are oak leaves everywhere, mixed in with just the ransacking, but there's a large concentration of them in the living quarters. And they're just strewn about as if someone just flung them in the searching. But these are actual oak leaves, and they're green oak leaves, so they're recently pulled off of an oak tree. Um, and that's certainly an oddity. I mean, there's several dozen of them in the living quarters alone, and then there's a
Can I
few strewn about the shop.
Can I could I roll with my occultism background to search my brain if there's any connection to oak leaves to anything occult?
Um, I'll call that a D0 test. So if you don't want to roll, if you just want the answer, I can give it to you. The answer is no, not really.
Okay.
Um,
Um, didn't we know that Pasquino and Lucretia, those are their code names, that they're named after statues, right?
they are named after statues. That's correct. Those two are both Pasquino and Lucrezia are both are both two of the famed talking statues of Rome. There's
Right.
what, a half dozen of them or so.
So, what are the odds, guys, that one or both of those talking statues is in a park with oak trees?
Well, and you guys do have 6 momentum if you want to spend momentum on obtain information spends, which
Well,
costs 2 momentum
if
apiece.
Marty, we're
if
over time, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I want to try and just finish up this scene in the next few minutes.
all right, so
Well, I can do the
as
detailed analysis now if you want.
well, detailed analysis.
It gives you 2 momentum to ask 3 questions instead of one.
Oh, wow. That's actually really helpful. So you spend 2 momentum like you would on obtain information, but you get three
Right.
questions instead of
You
one.
get 3 questions, yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay. Ultimately, it would be nice if we could figure out. Um, well, you ask whatever questions you want, but it would be good if we could figure out where the oak leaves came from.
Well, I could just do remote viewing to find out where those are.
All right, your call. You do your magic stuff.
Yeah, so uh I mean, what do you guys think just to get this, because that would tell us I'd be able to let me think here. How much would we have to burn for gain knowledge, effective nation? Close range can accurately study the object from you. Information was reveal things. But okay, so just by doing it, I only get, like, I can see inside an envelope or something like that. If I want to burn a momentum, uh, then for 3 momentum, I also choose an object to gain limited amount. Oh, I'd have to burn 3 momentum to be able to view this object's past. So I don't know how we doodle through this in the next couple of minutes. I'm trying to figure out how to advice, guys. Do we want to just do it? Should I just remote view this with 3 momentum and we'll know exactly where it's at then? But I'm going to inflict some psychic damage on me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This early in the day, it's just like we started out, and
But
all
we'll know exactly where
you've got
that
psychic
way.
damage.
Yeah, or I could just do, let's start with the detailed analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll spend two
And
That
momentum
sounds good to
and
me.
so 2 momentum for detailed analysis. The first question is where this is a stupid question. Can I just use this as general knowledge from walking through Rome, from the train station? Are there a lot of oak trees everywhere?
there are not a huge amount. It's not the most plentiful tree in Rome by far.
Okay, okay. So this isn't like, oh, a bunch of leaves and okay.
Yeah, a bunch of someone collecting a bunch of green oak leaves would be odd, to be sure.
Yeah, right. Okay. So taking a look at the oak leaves, they look like they're brand new, correct?
Yeah, they're relatively recently picked, to be sure.
Do they look like they were picked off the tree or were they scooped up?
Pulled off a tree.
So deliberately pulled off a tree.
Yeah.
Um, Help me, guys. uh,
Excuse me. These are questions you can ask about Anything or just specifically the oak leaves?
About the scene. About the scene.
Yeah.
Anything about the scene?
Okay. Oh boy. Uh, this is tough. It's so.
Do the oak leaves appear to be some sort of packing material that was used for an object that isn't here anymore?
Okay.
An object or a person or something?
Um, I'm going to say no, but I'm going to give you a piece of information because you're kind of on the edge of it. As that idea crosses your mind, you suddenly realize that you thought you heard something at some point. You know, in the midst of your being passed from Majestic to being on loan to Section M, which is associated with Section D, who you guys are kind of working for, but not really. You seem to remember hearing something about agents in Rome using oak leaves to pass messages back and forth.
Aha.
that's interesting.
So, third question. Pass messages back and forth. So they're either, and how many of these are like, I mean, we're talking like a dozen or like 100?
There's probably 2 or 3 dozen in the sleeping quarters, and then just a handful in the shop itself, kind of mixed in the other uh, detritus or detritus, however you choose to pronounce it, because apparently
Are
it's
they
pronounced both ways.
are they laying on the floor? Are they on the
Yeah,
furniture?
yeah, they're just flung about, as
Flung
if
about like
someone
if
found them
somebody
when they
was.
were searching and said, "What the hell's this?" and just tossed them.
Third question then would be, after careful examination of several of those, do I identify the method to which people communicated using the oak leaves? In other words, invisible ink? Is it
It
Question.
doesn't look like any of these have been used for messages. However, um, what's your reason? What's your academia?
my reason is, hold on. I know
Actually,
it's, I
just do
think it's
this.
10.
Just make a
Reasons 10.
just
Yeah.
make a reason academia roll with 1 difficulty,
Okay.
and you have 4 momentum if you want to buy any extra dice. You don't have a history focus, do you?
Do not. I have
Okay.
a cultism. So 2 dice.
2 dice unless you want to buy extra. You guys do have 4 momentum.
Why don't we do 3 dice then? Yeah, let's do
So
three.
spend 1 to get a third die. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Make your rolls.
And roll academia, submit. Occultism doesn't apply. Nope. So submit. And difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1.
All right.
Very good. And you bought your momentum
There we go.
back. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Sweet.
you you recall from your fortunately classic education that that Sybil of Cumae, the author of the Sibylline Books of Fate, uh, used oak leaves to record prophecies, and she did it by using a needle to basically put the message in the surface of the oak leaf. It wouldn't typically be noticed right away unless someone held it up to light or put some sort of contrasting powder onto it so that the powder sunk into the impressions.
Interesting. Okay. And we can't like immediately tell if any of these have been used for
None of
that
these
purpose
look
then.
like they've been used in that way.
Okay. All right.
So this is where they were writing the messages then.
Yeah. Seems
Okay.
that seems that way. Okay. Um well, I'm
Who are the
gonna collect.
messages to? Can you see?
Well, there aren't any. None of these have been used. It's like blank
Oh, that's
slips of
true. That's
paper.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll grab a few of them and put them in my pocket so that I can remove a few later if
Okay.
I choose to. And know what? All the other searches, it's basically just a ransacked, empty store. Nothing of
Right.
note in here. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I think I'm spent on this part at least.
Um, Boy. Okay. Well, if there's, I mean, if it's a ransacked shop, no one's here. We haven't found anything else in here of note. The only thing I can think is usually shopkeepers on the same street know each other. Maybe we should ask around to find out what happened.
Not a bad idea. Maybe there's a fellow that lives upstairs or something too. We need to keep watch out though. There's one of those police fellas outside milling about.
Do we have any ability to? I mean, we don't. None of us speak Italian, so do we have any ability to change that? I mean, when we start asking questions, it's going to be hard to do in Polish, German, English, and
That's very true.
Yeah, not at the current time.
yeah,
Of course, using momentum, you can always create a truth that an NPC speaks another language. So you do
right.
have an ability to change it in a way. Yeah.
Okay. We just have to. It's expensive.
Two momentum.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Could we use something to make like an NPC like connected to the rectory in which we're staying that could serve as an interpreter for us, like in general, like some kind of resistant agent?
Um. Yeah. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a minute because that's going beyond just creating a truth. That's also creating a contact,
Okay.
which is a bit more complex. So let me work on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, we are a quarter past.
Yeah.
So why don't we just stop here where you guys are in the shop,
Okay.
Yep.
and we'll pick up here next week unless there's any reason we're not playing next week. I'm clear on my end.
I'm good.
I'm clear.
I am too.
All right, good deal.
Okay.
All right, we'll
Excellent.
see you guys next week.
Okay.
Thanks for
All
playing,
right,
guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Later.
Later.
Bye, buddy.